One of the big things this week has been the Senate reform. So they've been trying to change the way the Australian Senate is elected into Parliament. In the media recently, there've been some questioning whether, they've been making a big issue about this and staying all night just because it affects their job prospects. Politics is always big news. What's happening in Canberra is always reported. What I'd focus on is kind of just the basics of what it means, what happened before, what happened after. I think that kind of makes it so you engage with the people, you get the information across, and good story.
Jargon tends to sort of
take away the jargon.
We're going to talk about the news of the week, which is this investment company that was sued for fraud. The only thing I hear is the victims. I've never heard any of the three people that founded this company that are being sued for this big amount of money actually speak.
And not many experts as well.
No experts. Yeah, I've never heard any experts talk about this thing. And I see a lot of images about people crying, that they invested money. Yeah, a lot of stories, human stories. That's the approach I've been seeing in the media here in Chile.
In your opinion, what was the main news in Denmark the last week?
Well, there was this terror attack in Brazil, which filled the medias afterwards, and there's been a lot of follow-up histories about the victims and the terror in general.
They've still made it relevant for Danes since we've also heard about the threats, like here are the lists, here are the places they want to attack.
And here are the victims. It gets very, very personal and close.
This is one of the things that has made me think a lot about journalism in general. Journalists, they have like a really important, this is very important, right?
Yeah.
But it also frightens me because how are we to decide what topics should concern the politicians?
Like in installments, the news that is going on right now is the tax-free move by the members of parliament that has been lifted by the High Court. Law was passed in parliament that all members of parliament will not be charged tax, so basically they'll be on tax-free. I felt that this particular media has done well in presenting this news in terms of background, because they have gone back and checked and followed up the story. I would also inquire more and ask more about these particular tax-free salaries that have been already issued from last year. Who will fork out the money to replace those money that has already been given into the MPs? Where will be the money coming from?
So let's have a look at some of the news in New Zealand.
A council in the drought-prone region of the South Island has sold rights to extract 40 billion litres of water to a Chinese company. The company plans on using it for bottled water. People are frustrated because once the company has made that first investment, there won't be other substantial fees as water in New Zealand is free.
And so in other news, the housing markets. New Zealand is in the grips of the housing crisis. There is currently a 14% annual increase in growth of the country's housing market. Kiwi house prices are the highest in the world compared to income. There is increasing scrutiny on the government to rein in rampant housing market. The coverage has been consistent for the last few years. Any time news, facts or a different analysis comes to light, it is front page news.
Today we will be discussing top issues, pressing issues, current issues in the Nigerian economy, what makes news now in Nigeria. And top on the list is the 2016 Nigerian budget. It was tagged by the government as a budget of change. And then at the end of the day, the social media tagged it as what?
And the corruption budget.
As a budget of corruption.
We are complaining that our military cannot face terrorists, cannot fight the Boko Haram. When you don't have adequate weapons, this money should have been allocated to procuring machine guns and military equipment. But now they don't have this equipment, and we are forcing our soldiers, Nigerians, to go to war without having adequate equipment. We just hope that the current situation of things and trends can give hope to Nigerians and can find a way to, our government can find a way to rectify this.
For the past week, the hottest issue in the country has been the latest SWSS or Social Weather Survey. For the mainline elections, there would be 5 persons running for the highest post in the country. Vice President Jojo Barbinay is still maintaining his post in the in the presidential run in the surveys.
Despite various corruption issues, allegations that he mishandled funds during his stay as the mayor of Makati City. We frame the elections in this certain way that there's too much drama, there's too much emotions going on. It's like we're living up to this teleserye nation where everything there has to be somebody's womanizing, somebody's almost dying, somebody gets ambushed, somebody gets killed.
We should have a better coverage.
The SABC today announced that they will no longer be showing violent depictions of protests. They don't want protesters to damage and vandalize buildings just to get notice and coverage, and this is their way of stopping it.
Yeah, that goes with the whole motive. They want to kill a motive to do so, but I feel they can't, because there are going to be violent protests anyway, because there are different media platforms. SABC is not a sole one.
We have 43% of South Africa online, so 43% of people are essentially getting their news on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So we need more news on those platforms, I think, because no one's reading papers anymore.
Yeah.
No one's sitting down to watch the news.